Hey guys, Adam here with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing as well as dyno testing the Bama Rev-X by SCT tuner with 2 custom tunes available for the 17 to 18 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150. Now before we jump into the details of the Rev-X and the 2 tunes from Bama Performance, what do you say we head right over to the dyno graph and talk about the results? Now we have our 17 3.5 Eco F-150 on the dyno here. We have 35-inch all-terrains on there along with 93 octane in the tank, which is worth mentioning because that does affect results. And it has a 10-speed. We pulled that 10-speed in 5th gear to avoid hitting the speed limiter in the 1-to-1 gear of 7th. We walked away with a baseline number of 288 horsepower, 364 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels, uploaded our Bama 93 octane tune, ran it under the same conditions, and walked away with 364 horsepower and 416 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels. That's peak gains of 76 horsepower and 52 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels, and those numbers look really, really good on our EcoBoost, but the curve gains are even more impressive. We're seeing curve gains of as much as 104 horsepower and 100 pound-feet of torque at the rear wheels over stock. Those curve gains are insane, which is a little bit more than what we expected from this EcoBoost, so that's really, really good. And we're seeing those gains at the top end of the RPM band, right around 5,400 RPMs. Adding this tune and picking up so much torque at the low end is really making a difference to drivability. So as you saw from the dyno graph, we made amazing gains with the Bama tune here, and that's the 93 octane out of the 2 that's given to you from Bama. On the device, you'll be able to take advantage of the 87 octane and the 93 race tune. Now the 87 options are gonna be a good choice for any daily driver out there or weekend warrior looking to just get a little bit more out of your truck, a little bit more throttle response and acceleration to combat some of the sluggish feel that you get, especially with larger wheels and tires. Now the 93 Performance or the 93 race tune from Bama is gonna be the way to go if you want all-out performance to really maximize your truck's potential. Bama takes a number of things into consideration like timing, spark, air-fuel ratio, and the drive-by-wire delay, which will be altered in the tune here to give you a lot more out of your truck. Now, the drive-by-wire delay is essentially the delay in time between hitting your gas pedal and your throttle body opening up and your truck getting going off the line. So with that delay removed or minimized here, you'll definitely feel a lot stronger getting off the line. And as you saw from our graph here, that 93 tune is making a ton of torque down low, and that torque curve is staying very consistent through the RPM band. So you can expect that torquey feel to really be something that changes your driving experience on a day-to-day basis, really at all times. Now, aside from the tunes themselves, there's a number of other things to take advantage of on your Rev-X device. One of the big things I like to talk about here is the gauges and data log screen. You can monitor live engine vitals on the fly within arm's reach at any time in the driver's seat. Now, the gauges screen here allows you to monitor up to 8 different parameters all at once. Things like air-fuel ratio, coolant temp, boost in PSI, which is a big thing for these turbo trucks, as well as intake air temperatures and a number of other things. Now, you can also record the data log performance here on the device to communicate that back to your tuner. So if you want to see possible revisions or maybe improve upon your truck's performance, you can communicate that back to Bama using your data log recording capabilities here. There's also a DTC code reader. You can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes, or the check engine light, right from the device without needing any other OBD2 module. No need to take it to AutoZone or any other store like that to have them read it for you. You can do it yourself. You also have Wi-Fi capability, cloud access, which basically means you can wirelessly send and receive tune files and data log files without needing to plug it into your computer or laptop. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection. You can wirelessly update the software and firmware versions, and there's a couple of other settings I'll walk you through in just a minute. The tuner itself here comes in right around $430, and that's combined with the 2 tunes from Bama. It's also worth noting anytime you pick up a Bama tune combined with a handheld tuner like this, or the X4 for example, you're automatically enrolled in the Bama Free Tunes for Life program. Anytime that you need a revision to the tune, so if you add a cold air intake or a catback, or really any performance mod, you can get the tune rewritten to include that and maximize its performance for free for the lifetime that you have your device and truck paired. So that's a really big value to take advantage of. We always know that we're pretty much never done modding these trucks, so that can really come in handy and save you some money in the long run. Now, the install, I'm gonna give 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Anybody can tackle this in the driveway at home with about 30 minutes from start to finish. I'm gonna walk you through the whole tuning process, and I'll show you how to use all of the features I just mentioned. What do you say we get to it? First up here, guys, grab your Rev-X and the OBD2 harness included in the kit. You're gonna plug this guy into the OBD2 port located under the driver's side dash. Now that's gonna be right next to your emergency brake there. So we're gonna plug that guy in. The other end is gonna plug right into the top of your Rev-X. Now we can hop in and get to tuning. All right, so once you have your device plugged in, I'm gonna leave it right here on our steering wheel, show you guys the process here for tuning your vehicle. So right from the main menu, you'll have program vehicle, gauges, data log, vehicle functions, vehicle info, and device settings. You wanna select program vehicle to actually flash a tune. Confirm your VIN number, press confirm. From here, right out of the box, your device will probably need to be updated. We've already updated ours. If you haven't done so already, you wanna go over and press continue. Now, for that, you will need to connect to Wi-Fi, so be within range of a Wi-Fi network. And again, we've already taken care of it, so we're gonna select skip. If you've already updated yours, you can do that as well. All right, so while we did do a software update, we're now doing a firmware update on our device, which sometimes can happen right after the software. So allow it to load 0 to 100 as many times as it needs. Looks like 2 updates is what's happening here, and then we'll move into tuning. All right, so once it's complete, you can press OK. Internet required. Again, you'll need to connect to a Wi-Fi network. At this point, it would prompt you to connect to Wi-Fi. Now, ours is already connected, so it should just verify files and move forward. All right, now at this point, the Rev-X does have cloud capabilities. So if your tuner, in this case Bama, sent you your tune file on the cloud instead of it via email, you'll be able to press continue, sync the tune from the cloud to your device, and then move forward with flashing. Now ours is physically loaded to the device via email, so we're gonna hit skip, but that all depends on how it was sent to you from Bama. Now, street use, you're gonna press continue, make sure your key is in the on position and press continue again. At this point, you'll be able to select your tune. Now, you may have multiple from your tuner. We're only focusing on the 93 Performance, or otherwise known as 93 Race Tune, so that's the only thing we have loaded in the Custom Tunes section of this menu. Now, if you want to select your 87 tune, you can do that now as well. It just depends on what you either pulled from the cloud or loaded to the device via email on your computer. So we're going to select 93 Performance. There are additional options to change in the tune. I'll select change just to show you guys what that looks like. So let's hit change again. You have spark, axle ratio, tire revs per mile, speed limiter, rev limiter. So many different options here that you can play with. If you do not want to edit any of these, you don't have to. We're actually gonna leave all of these the same and just go with the tune that was sent to us. All right, so we're gonna hit continue. All right, so as you can see at this point, it's applying options, which basically means it's applying any of those changes that you made to the tune, compiling that together. From here, it will move into saving your stock tune to the device. So anytime you want to revert back to your factory Ford tune, you can do so right on the device using the same menu options. Return to stock will appear once it's been flashed to aftermarket. And then from there, it will move in to actually flash the vehicle. During this process, of course, you don't want to unplug the device or turn the key off unless it's prompting you to do so on the screen. Sometimes it may tell you to turn the key off and then press continue and then back on and press continue. So if it does that, follow those directions, but if not, let it do its thing. All right, so once it moves into the next phase, it's gonna write the tune, which will be, again, loading 0 to 100. The lights on the dash may turn off. Just make sure you're not turning your key off. Just follow the instructions on the screen. Don't unplug your device, and we'll come back when it's done. All right, so here we're being told to turn the key off, and then wait for instruction, back on, same thing. All right, and there you have it, programming complete. You can hit done, takes you right back to the main menu. All right, so next I want to take you through some of the Rev-X's features here aside from programming vehicle. Under that, you'll see gauges and data log. Now this is going to be a good screen for the guys who want to monitor live engine vitals on the fly at all times. All you'll have to do is make sure the key is on, press continue. All this is going to do is really connect to your ECU, give you your configuration property or vehicle, and it'll track as many of these as you'd like at the same time. Now you can track up to 8 of them, and they're all interchangeable. So right from the default here, we have all 8 displayed. They're little gauges, 4 on each side going vertically. So what you can do is, let's make it a little bit easier to read. You can go to the right here. We can go to select gauge layout. You can change what this guy will look like. So let's go with something very simple. We'll just track 2 gauges at once, a lot bigger and easier to read. So we have boost in PSI up top, control module voltage on the bottom. Now, because we're in an EcoBoost, we got some turbos going on, what we want is boost, right? So most people will track boost, but say we don't want control module voltage. We'll select that guy, change the item. Say we want to track intake air temperature instead. Select it, go over and hit approve, and it replaces that gauge. So it's super easy to use, it's very responsive, and there's a lot to choose from. So if we didn't just want 2 options, you go to the right, go down to gauge layout. You already saw 8. You can track 2, 3, 4, there's 5 here, 6, and then 8. So let's see 4. And there you have it. And again, you can change any of these to whatever you want out of the list menu. Now, if you wanted to record a data log, you can start record data. That'll record the engine's performance, and you can communicate that back to your tuner, or you can just have it for your records, and that can be saved directly onto the device, and it can be communicated back into the cloud. So we can hit stop data log, and it'll take us back to the main menu. Now under that, there's vehicle functions, read DTC and clear. Now DTC is the diagnostic trouble code, your check engine light. If that guy comes on, you can plug this device in, go to this menu, read the code, you can clear the code, and then special functions, most people won't touch, things like cam relearn. So what we're gonna do is go back to the main menu. Finally, we have vehicle info, which will give you your VIN number and ECU strategy code, along with some of the other vehicle parameters. Device info is gonna be software and firmware versions, your married status, how many unlocks you have left with the device. So say you wanna use this device, but on a different vehicle, you can have it unlocked from the vehicle that you have. Every time you return the vehicle to stock, it unlocks it from the device. You can then pair it to a new vehicle, and you have up to 5 different times you can do that. And that information will be stored in device info. Now device settings here has things like check for update and Wi-Fi, which kind of go hand in hand. If you're in range of a Wi-Fi network, you can connect to that and get wireless updates to the device. Anytime SCT puts out a software update, it's good to check here. Now, cloud file sync is something unique to the Rev-X as opposed to the X4 option. Basically, this makes things wireless. If you're getting tune revisions, if you're sending or receiving data log files, you can do it all wirelessly via the cloud. And again, you'll need Wi-Fi access for this, but that'll eliminate the need to plug it into a laptop or computer. You can upload, again, data log to the cloud. You can also upload your stock file to the cloud to save. And then there's regular settings like the brightness and day and night mode. You can change your theme. Default is dark red, but you can change it to light blue. There's also light red, just really simple things to customize it to your own liking. And then finally, there is a little beep here. When you hit a button, you can change that, turn that off. Finally, the start function that I think is gonna be most important for guys here in the device settings menu is the startup mode. So you can have it immediately load up to the gauges and data log menu if you find yourself using that more often than not. Now, if you are, you may be picking up a windshield mount or a vent gauge mount to mount this guy within arm's reach. If that's the case, I'd recommend turning this on. That way, you can just leave it plugged in at all times, and as soon as you turn your vehicle on and load this up, it immediately goes to gauges. So I think that's really useful. From there, we'll hit exit, takes you right back to the main menu, and that's your Rev-X device. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up my review, install, and dyno test for the Bama Rev-X by SCT tuner with 2 custom tunes for the 17 to 18 3.5 F-150. If you wanna get yours, you can do so right here at AmericanTrucks.com.